What if your kill team just refused to die? Like, no matter how many bullets your opponent fires, your models keep standing there, leaking green goo and smiling through it. That's the Plague Marines. Nurgle's favorite. They're slow, they're ugly, they smell like a science experiment gone wrong. And they win. Plague Marines are the definition of inevitable. You don't race across the map, you crawl. You rot your way to victory. Every turn your opponent wastes trying to kill you is another turn you quietly score points. That's the trick, patience and pressure. You don't win fast, you win forever. In Kill Team, Plague Marines are an elite squad. You don't get many fighters, usually 5 or 6 models at most. Each one is a mini boss fight. They hit hard. They take hits even better. In every action, each one is a mini boss fight. They hit hard. They take hits even better. In every action has to matter. If a Plague Marine moves, it's for a reason. If he shoots, it's to break your opponent's plan. If he just stands there, trust me, he's still winning. This team is not about fancy tricks or lightning speed, it's about control. You control time, you control space, you control your opponent's mood, usually by breaking them, usually by making them sigh every time you roll another save. They're simple to play, but deeper to master. A beginner can pick them up and survive. A veteran can use them to crush the will of anyone who thinks durable means boring. These guys make boring deadly. Let's keep it real. The good, you're almost impossible to kill. You got solid weapons, flexible loadouts, and some of the most reliable fighters in the game. The bad, you're slow, extremely slow. You're outnumbered, and if you forget to play the mission, you'll lose on points, while your opponent runs laps around you. But here's the fun part. Every weakness has a fix. You can't outrun them. Make them come to you. You can't outshoot them. Outlast them. Your job is to turn every game into a swamp. Make your opponent wade through it until they run out of energy. Think of the Plague Marines like a slow avalanche. They start steady, almost harmless. Then before your opponent knows it, the whole board is covered in rust, rot, and bad decisions. That's how you win with Nurgle. Not by style, but by stubbornness. And let's be honest, there's something special about playing a team that makes your opponent say, "How are you still alive?" It never gets old. So that's Plague Marines in a nutshell. Tough, gross, endless patience. They don't sprint to victory, they ooze their way there. You'll love them if you enjoy games where every save rolls feels like a small miracle. Next up, we'll break down what actually makes them terrifying, their biggest strengths, and how to use each one to rot your way into the scoreboard. Because surviving is good, but winning while you survive, that's pure Nurgle joy. So what actually makes the Plague Marines scary? You already know they're tough. But there's more to it than just high saves and gross skin. These guys bend the flow of the game. They don't win with flash. They win because everything your opponent does starts to feel like a waste of time. Strength 1. Disgustingly resilient. Every time your opponent thinks they finally dropped you, you roll, shrug, and say, nah. That one rule turns small fights into long nightmares. They have to overcommit just to kill one Marine. That means less fire going into the rest of your team and less focus on objectives. Every time you pass a save that should have killed you, it's not just lucky, it's game control. You've bought time. Time wins games. Durability isn't just defense, it's offense that runs on patience. Strength 2. Plague Marines thrive on attrition. You grind your opponent until they crack. They burn their big guns early, and you're still standing there, smiling, your cracked helmet. By round 3 or 4, they're out of ammo, morale, and plans. That's when you start walking forward, one slow step, one objective at a time. You're not rushing, you're rotting the map. Your presence alone creates pressure. It's like putting a brick on your opponent's chest and daring them to move it. Third strength, consistency. Your weapons might not look flashy, but they do the job every time. Bolters hit hard enough. Plague knives keep you dangerous in close combat. Then there's your heavy hitters, the blight launcher, the plasma gun, the flamer. Each one fills a role. You don't have dead weight on this team. Every model can fight, score, or soak. No wasted activation. And when your guns do connect, it stings. Your plasma punishes elites. Your blight launcher zones out entire lanes. It's steady, simple, and nasty. Here's the underrated one, mental pressure. People hate fighting Plague Marines. They get tilted. They dump everything into one model, fail, and mutter something about a broken rule. You can see the frustration set in. When they start chasing kills instead of the mission, you've already won. Be tough, Being tough isn't just good for surviving, it makes your opponent play worse. That's the real power. Number 5. Even when you're not rolling dice, you control space. Your opponent doesn't want to walk near you. You take an objective, and suddenly that part of the board becomes a no fun zone. You're not fast, but you're immovable. The presence shapes the match before a single wound is dealt. Ever had a game where a single Plague Marine sat on the center objective for 3 turns? He got charged, shot, flamed, you name it. He didn't die. By the end, my opponent had 3 models left and 0 points on the objective. That's the power of one disgusting, stubborn hero. So to sum it up, Plague Marines are patient killers. They win by staying alive longer than anyone else can handle. Their strength isn't speed or flash. You can feel it building every round. And once the rot sets in, it's already over. Next, we'll talk about what doesn't work, their weaknesses, the traps players fall into, and how to fix them before they cost you the game. All right, let's be honest. Plague Marines might be disgustingly tough, but they're not perfect. They've got some real problems that can cost you games fast if you don't respect them. Think of it like a tank that forgot how to sprint. So if you play like a race car, you're going to crash hard. And let's break down the weak spots so you can fix them before they spread like, well, Nurgle's rot. All right, weakness 1, it's pretty obvious. It's going to be the movement. It's your biggest problem. Plague Marines move across the board like they're knee-deep in molasses. It's basically the same thing as a herd of turtles stampeding in peanut butter. When other teams are zipping around grabbing objectives, you're still taking that second step. And that's fine if you had planned for it. But too many players try to plan for fast army games. They chase instead of control. They run across the lanes trying to fight instead of locking down zones. And here's the truth. You can't chase speed, but you can trap it. Set up lanes, hold checkpoints, make your opponent come to you. If you waste turns marching across the board, you're not scoring, you're sightseeing. Weakness number 2, your model count. You only got 5 or 6 bodies. That means every Marine matters. Lose 1 and it hurts. Lose 2 and the game's probably slipping away. This is the part new players struggle with. You can't trade your models 1 for 1. You have to make every fight count. Every move, every shot, every activation should mean something. Treat each Plague Marine like a mini-boss. He's not there to die gloriously. He's there not to die. Patience wins here. And when your opponent finally takes 1 out, make sure it costs them half their team to do it. That's the good trade in Nurgle math. Third weakness, mission play. Because you're slow and few, you can struggle to complete mission actions or control multiple objectives. On missions that need speed or consistent pickup, Plague Marines feel clunky. This is where you win games through smart planning, not reaction. You have to pick your fights before the first dice rolls. Look at the map, figure out which points matter most, and commit early. You can't be everywhere, but you can make everywhere you are impossible to take. Weakness number 4. Here's a sneaky one. Overconfidence. Because Plague Marines are so hard to kill, a lot of players get reckless. They charge out into the open thinking, I'll tank it. And yeah, maybe you do, until you don't. Once those wounds start stacking, it's too late. Remember, you're durable, not immortal. You still have to use cover. You still have to think ahead. Your defense is strong, but smart opponents can strip you down through focused fire or mission pressure. So don't get cocky here. Get clever. Let them come to you, then grind them down. And finally, flexibility. You don't have many tools for sudden changes. If your plan falls apart mid-match, it's tough to pivot. That's why setup and first round positioning are important. If you start in the wrong spots, you'll spend the rest of the game walking instead of winning. So yeah, Plague Marines are gross, but not flawless. You're slow, outnumbered, and if you play careless, you'll lose on points. But the good news, every one of these problems can be fixed with good planning. Up next, we'll build your dream roster, the perfect mix of bruisers, gunners, and specialists to make your team feel unstoppable. You'll see which fighters pull the most weight and which ones are just dead weight in power armor. Now that you know the Plague Marine strengths and weak spots, let's build your team. Because here's the truth, the roster is small, but every fighter counts. Each model you pick changes how the whole team plays. So we're going through the key roles, what they do, and how to mix them in for any match. The Plague Marine Champion. This guy is the boss. He's mean, durable, and smarter than he looks. You can give him a plasma gun for big threat range, or a power fist for melee domination. I like plasma, it scares people. When your opponent sees the glowing gun, they have to respect your angles. But don't get reckless. Your champion isn't a frontline berserker. He's a general. Use him to anchor the center or watch for a key lane. Every shot from the plasma gun should make your opponent think twice about moving. Think of him as a do not enter sign of your roster. Next, the icon bearer. Simple job, huge value. The banner gives him reliability. It helps your Marines stick around when they should be down. Keep him close to objectives or in the center bubble. He's not flashy, but his aurora keeps your team alive longer, and that means more turns to score. Don't lose him early. It's like turning off your life support. Now the real spice, your gunners. You've got 3 main flavors: Blight Launcher, Plasma Gunner, and Flamer. Each fills a different need. Blight Launcher, your mid-range bully. It forces movement and punishes tight groups. Plasma Gun deletes elites. Great against Angels of Death, Custodes, or anyone fancy. Flamer, your crowd control, melts hordes, locks down corners, and clears cover. You won't take all 3 in one match, so pick for the mission. If you're facing lots of bodies, bring the Flamer. If you expect heavy armor, grab Plasma. If you want steady pressure, go Blight Launcher. Remember, one good shot can turn the entire round. The basic fighter don't look fancy, but they hold the team together. Bolters for steady fire, Plague Knives for close range threats. They're not here to wipe squads, they're here to be the glue. These guys camp objectives, trade shots, and force your opponent to waste actions. Their value isn't in kills, it's in presence. Think of them as walking roadblocks covered in rust and bad smells. If you're new, start simple. Champion with a plasma gun, icon bearer, Blight Launcher gunner, Flamer gunner, 2 fighters, bolter plus knife. That's a strong mix of damage, support, and staying power. For a more aggressive build, drop a fighter and add another gunner or melee loadout. Just know you'll be thinner on objectives. And for defensive missions, go heavier on fighters and keep the bearer safe. Every Plague Marine on your roster has a purpose. No filler, no throwaways. Once you know what each role does, your whole team feels smoother, smarter, and nastier. Up next, we'll dive into Tac Ops, the secret missions that make or break your game. We'll talk about which ones fit the Plague Marines best and how to score with them while your opponent is still trying to kill you. All right, time to talk Tac Ops, your secret missions. These are what quietly win games while your opponent is too busy trying to melt your armor. For Plague Marines, picking the right Tac Ops is everything. You don't have numbers, and you're not fast. You can't afford to waste picks. But when you choose smart, you'll score more points without ever needing to sprint. If you're new, Tac Ops are small side missions that give you extra ways to earn points during a match. Each one fits a theme, like kill stuff, hold ground, complete actions, and usually pick 3 before a game starts, and the right combo can carry you to victory. For Plague Marines, the best Tac Ops are the ones that reward holding zones and surviving. You want missions that say stay alive here and make it count. Top pick, Dominate. This one is classic Plague Marine gold. It rewards you for controlling the center of key objectives. You're built for it. You don't need speed, you just need to exist. Once you plant a Marine in the middle, it's like trying to move a wall. Dominate is simple. You take ground, you never leave, and you dare your opponent to push you off. Spoiler, they can't. Pick 2, Sweep and Clear. This one's great for your style of play. It rewards clearing out objectives and keeping control. Every time you clean an area and hold it, you earn points. You don't have to kill everyone. You just have to make sure the objective is yours when the dust settles. Because Plague Marines are so hard to remove, once you claim something, it tends to stay yours. Number 3 is Plant Banner, because it is perfect when you're confident in your staying power. You complete an action to raise your flag. And as long as your Marine doesn't die, you keep scoring from it. For other teams, that's risky. For you, it's beautiful. You're not going anywhere, and every turn that banner waves, it's free victory points. Just remember, don't do it in open ground. Get cover, raise the flag, and force your opponent to come to fight you in your swamp. Here's some flex picks. Some maps or missions might push you to mix it up. If there's heavy terrain and you can anchor early, hold them back can work. If you're up against hordes, Seize Ground might be better for spreading slow pressure. But whatever you do, skip Tac Ops that require you running around the board. Leave that to the fast factions. You'll lose time and energy chasing them. Your whole Tac Op plan should say, I'm not leaving this point, and if you want it, come and get it. That mindset wins games. So think of Tac Ops as your second health bar. They reward patience and smart play, not flash, Pick one that fits your slow, steady style, and you'll watch your scores creep up while your opponent panics. Up next, we're talking gear, your equipment, the toxins, icons, and dirty tricks that turn hard to kill into impossible to shift. You'll see which loados are worth every point and which ones belong on the compost pile. All right, now let's talk gear, the gross little goodies that make Plague Marines even harder to kill. Your equipment is where you turn tough into ridiculous. And when you pick the right combo, your team stops being annoying and starts being unkillable. But gear can be a trap too. Some of it sounds cool, but eats up points for no reason. So let's sort out the must-haves from the spell bad, play worse pile. Top pick, Icon of Decay. This one's an auto include. If you're not running the icon, you're missing out on your faction's best buff. It keeps your team alive longer and adds that lovely Nurgle flavor of, you thought he was dead, didn't you? Keep your icon bearer near the main objective or in the thick of it. He's not flashy, but he makes your whole roster better. Pick number 2, Crack Grenade. Simple, brutal, reliable. You don't get much chances to one-shot armor, but the Crack Grenade gives you that punch. Perfect for finishing elites or scaring someone off an objective. Don't throw it too early. Wait for the moment your opponent clumps up or overextends. The boom will remind them why getting too close to Nurgle is always a bad idea. Pick number 3, Blight Grenade. The Blight Grenade is your area denial. It's not about raw damage. It's about spreading pain and limiting movement. Drop it on choke points or objectives to make your opponent second guess pushing in. You're not trying to blow them up. You're trying to make them hesitate. The hesitation is where you win. Pick number 4, Toxic Rounds. Anything that boosts your already nasty damage or rerolls on wounds is worth it. Plague Marines thrive on reliability. Toxin Boost turns your basic weapon into little nightmares. You don't need fancy math, just more chances to say, that's another save you're gonna fail. Then we got some situational gear. Some missions or maps change what you bring. If you're up against hordes, throw in extra blight grenades. If you're on a big open map, invest in long range support like ammo upgrades, facing elites, double down on plasma or melee buffs. But here's the golden rule. Don't overcomplicate it. You're not playing an inventory simulator. You're playing a slow, nasty brawler. Keep your loadout simple and strong. Gear to avoid. The trap choices. Some gear sounds cooler than it plays. Anything that costs too much EP for one-time tricks is usually a trap. If it doesn't help you hold objectives or survive longer, skip it. Leave the gimmicks for the fast teams. They need them, you don't. Picture this combo. Your icon bearer buffs a fighter with a toxic upgrade. The fighter holds an objective while your blight grenade covers the lane. Your opponent moves in, gets hit by the grenade, then fails to drop your marine. You just scored the point while they wasted an entire activation. That's how your gear should feel. So when you pick gear, think simple. More staying power, more pressure, less waste. Every grenade, every upgrade should make your opponent's life harder. If it doesn't, toss it. Next, we're getting into the fun part, your weapons, your tactics. We'll talk about what guns to bring, what melee tools hit the hardest, and which tactical plays make your opponent realize they've already doomed. All right, now we're getting into the fun stuff. Weapons and tactics. This is where your Plague Marines stop being just hard to kill and start turning games around. Because if you think Nurgle's warriors are just about standing still, oh buddy, you're in for a surprise. They may be slow, but every weapon you point at an enemy matters. Let's start with your ranged firepower. You've got 3 big names here, the Blight Launcher, the Plasma Gun, and the Flamer. Each fill a role, and knowing when to use them is half the game. Blight Launcher's your mid-game controller. Uses it to punish enemies moving through cover or tight spaces. Its strength isn't the damage, it's the reach. You can pressure areas your slow Marines can't walk to yet. Plasma Gun, your elite killer. Custodes, Angels of Death, gone. It's your scalpel in a team of hammers. You don't get greedy, just don't get greedy. One bad overcharge roll and Papa Nurgle will be shaking his head. A Flamer, your crowd cleaner. This thing melts hordes, corner campers, and anyone foolish enough to hide. Use it to flush people off objectives or lock down small rooms. In melee, you're not fancy, but you're brutal. Your plague knives are the bread and butter, steady, reliable, and perfect for finishing off wounded enemies. If you want more punch, grab a power fist. On your champion, it's slow, but when it connects, something's getting deleted. Plague Marines in close combat are bullies. You're not trying to wipe the board, you're trying to pin enemies down and make them fight where you want. Every fight you start should help you hold an objective or buy you some time. Now let's talk about your ploys. These are the small rules that let you pull off big plays. Disgustingly resilient. You already know it. It's your trademark. Use it to tank big hits, stall for time, and frustrate your opponent who thought they had the math worked out. Mutagen flesh. It's one spicy. It lets you ignore certain damage or wounds, perfect for baiting an enemy into overcommitting. Timing is everything here, though. Wait for the big swings, then shrug it off like it's nothing. Toxic presence. Area control in rule form. Pop this when you're setting on an objective and want to make this ground itself feel dangerous. Sometimes your best move is to let your opponent decide not to walk near you. Now, how do we put all this together? Here's the rhythm that wins games. You open by taking space with your ranged threats, blight launcher zones, plasma scares. Then you walk your melee fighters in behind them, holding ground. When your opponent finally commits, that's when your ploys go off. By the end, they're either stuck in melee, pinned for fear, or throwing dice in frustration. That's how you turn your slow team into a moving wall of rot. So yeah, Plague Marines might not be the flashiest guns or the trickiest, but they use everything perfectly. Every weapon you pick should serve a purpose. Control, pressure, or punishment. And when you stack that with tactical ploys, your opponent stops playing their games and starts playing yours. Next up, we'll finish strong with the tough stuff. How to handle hard matchups, and how to start collecting your own unstoppable Plague Marine kill team. All right, let's wrap this up by talking about the two big things. Who gives your Plague Marines trouble, and how to start and grow your collection the right way. Because knowing your bad matchups keeps you alive, and knowing what to buy keeps your wallet alive. Your first real problem is speed. Anything fast can make your life miserable if you let them dance around you. Teams like Harlequins, Eldar, or Commandos will sprint circles while you're still taking the second step. They'll grab early points and try to force you to chase them. Here's the fix. Don't chase. Lock down the center, hold key lanes, and make the maps smaller. Force them to come to you by making every approach dangerous. If they have to enter your range to score, you've already won. Think of it like fishing. They bite, you crush. Next up, the horde problem. Teams like Guardsmen or Gaunts fill the table with bodies. You can't kill them all, and they'll flood objectives fast. The trick is to focus fire and control space. Use your flamer and blight launcher to thin groups and break momentum. Don't spread out, stay focused. You only need to hold the points that matter. Remember, if they want to score everywhere, make them work for every inch. Your Plague Marines might be outnumbered 10-1, but each one of yours is worth 3 of theirs. Trade smart, not wide. Finally, the mirror fights. Teams like Custodes or Angels of Death, they hit just as hard and survive just as long. This is a slugfest, and patience wins it. Don't rush in. Let them waste activations trying to delete what they can't. Keep your icon bearer close and save ploys for the right moment. One bad dice roll from them, one disgustingly resilient save from you, and the tide flips. Slow and steady wins here. Make every swing count. Now, if you're just starting your collection, good news. It's easy. The Kill Team Starter Set, which right here, is the great start. It gives you everything you need to build a strong squad right away. From there, grab multi-part Plague Marine box. It gives you all the weapons and options you'll ever want. Blight launchers, plasma, flamers, and even a few melee tools. If you want to expand later, Blightlord Terminators are a cool hobby edition. They're not legal in every kill team format. They look really awesome and paint up beautifully in Nurgle green. And speaking of painting, don't rush it. The dirtier, the better. These guys look best when they look like they've been fighting since the galaxy was young. Weathering, rust, green washes, go crazy. You can't mess them up. If it looks nasty, it's right. So that's it. Your complete Marine playbook. You know how to build them, gear them, score with them, and face anyone that tries to take them down. Remember, you're not here to win fast. You're here to win forever. If you found this guide helpful, hit that like button. Drop your grossest Plague Marine story in the comments, and subscribe for more kill team breakdowns and beginner guides, because on this channel, the rot always spreads and the victory is always contagious.